Hello and welcome back to my channel and welcome back to this video on Cercospora. It's a pathogen that causes a disease known as Ticca disease in groundnut and many other croplands. You're seeing here the Ticca disease on the groundnut leaf. Ticca disease, the name is given to this disease because of the presence of the leaf spots which look like ticca which the Indians wear on their forehead. The leaf spots are brown or black in color with yellow halo around, yellow margin around the leaf spot. The leaf spots may be exactly circular or may be irregular in some cases. Coming to the classification, Cercospora is actually placed under the division Deuteromycetes, fungi imperfecti. Only if its perfect cycle is known, its sexual reproduction cycle is known, then it is placed under Mycospirillacea, order Capnodiales, class Deuteromycetes, family Dimaceaceae, genus Cercospora. There are two species, Cercospora arachidicola, Cercospora personata. Coming to the infections, the leaf spots appear on the leaves first, which appear as brown spots to start with yellow halo margin around the black spot or brown spot. Later they are spread to the other parts of the plant like stem and leaf bases, also to the nuts which are hidden under the ground. You are seeing one more picture where you are seeing the leaf spots on the groundnut leaf. Some more pictures to show you the leaf spots. Cercospora is a very large genus of the family Dimaceaceae. There are about 3,800 species. It causes leaf spot or ticca disease. A species called Cercospora api causes infections on the faces of human beings with lesions on the faces. The mycelium is well developed, branched, intercellular, septate. The young mycelium is hyaline or colorless. Later it turns brown in color. They produce large lobed haustoria which are entering into the host cells and absorb nutrition from the host cells. And there is a brown colored or black colored substomatal structure called stroma produced on the leaf just below the epidermis, and this is actually stroma which is formed actually by the mycelium, and from stroma the sporangiophores arise and the sporangiophores produce the sporangia. The pathogen causes leaf spots in arhar, cotton, rice, chili, calotropis and many other plants, but it is predominantly damaging the groundnut crop. Groundnut is Arachis hypogea. The infections or lesions are actually formed in the older leaves first and they are spread to the younger leaves later. They produce a characteristic structure called pseudostomata, which is a depression on the upper surface of the leaf, and in this pseudostomata you find the clusters of conidiophores which bear conidia, which is actually appear like a fuzzy structure. I will show you the picture later. There are two important species of Cercospora, Cercospora arachidicola, Cercospora personata, and they are slightly different. In case of Cercospora arachidicola, the leaf spots are not perfectly circular, they are irregular, whereas in case of Cercospora personata, they are almost perfectly circular. There are other differences also you can see. This is the pseudostomata, a close-up of each leaf spot where you can see the presence of conidiophores in which the conidia are produced. The mycelium is well developed. Branched haustoria produced in Cercospora personata, whereas Cercospora arachidicolia, the haustoria are absent. Conidiophores, which are produced in the pseudostomata, produce conidia, and these conidia are the reproductive structures, and conidia produced on a geniculate structure, that is knee joint like structure, and these conidia on liberation will cause reinfection on the host plant. The sizes of these conidia and conidiophores is given here. The conidia are septate, and there are about 4 to 12 septa in each conidium, which are very long, and they are produced in tufts or clusters. Conidiophores are hyaline, that is colorless. They may be sometimes dark brown in color. They are usually septate. Sometimes they may not be septate. They are flexus. They may not be straight always. Sometimes they are slightly bent. And they are produced on the conidiophores, which are geniculate or knee joint like structures. And each conidiophore may produce many conidia successively. And once the conidium is fallen down, it leaves a scar called conidial scar. You are seeing here the conidia on the lower side of the image, long, sometimes septate, sometimes aseptate conidia. The picture CD show the knee joint like structure, which is called geniculate structure, which are the scars from where the conidia have fallen down. One more picture, again knee joint like structures and conidia. The mature conidia which actually fall down will leave a scar on the conidiophore. We call it as geniculate scar. And the conidia germinate whenever the moisture is available. They are spread, that is disseminated by wind or rain splashes. Conidia germinate, they produce a germ tube, and it develops into a new mycelium inside the host plant. The perfect stages are of both arachidicola and personata are known. They are called by different name. You are seeing the leaf spot, and you are seeing the conidia in this diagram arising from the stroma. Stroma is the substomatal cavity, which is present just below the epidermis, where a thick mycelial mat is available, in which the conidiophores are available, and the conidia arise from the conidiophores. One more picture where you can see the conidia arising from the conidiophores. This is the life cycle of Cercospora. Conidia are spread or disseminated by wind and rain, and they reinfect the host plant. You are also seeing the groundnuts infected by Cercospora. There are different diseases of Cercospora that are caused in different croplands, like in banana they produce a disease, they cause a disease called Sigatoka leaf disease caused by Cercospora musae. Likewise, they cause disease in tobacco, lady's finger, cotton, rice, and many other croplands. Controlling this disease is not all that difficult. You can use genetically resistant varieties that are available now, which are resistant against Cercospora. You can also use the crop rotation method. You can also use biological and chemical control. You can use a number of pesticides that are available in the market, with the help of which you can control this disease. Thank you very much for watching this video. We will meet again with one more topic in the next video. Please like, share, and subscribe.